Alrighty then. Hello everyone, and welcome to the 8-bit Hyrule, where things were really, really dangerous. So yeah, I'm here with Eon, a fellow Zelda II runner.
Hello. I'm excited for this run. You're gonna kill it.
And I am excited too. So, there was a bid war for the file name, and it looks like Long won, but can I get a confirmation?
Yes, I can confirm that Lonk is the winner. That is L-O-N-K, all lowercase, or all same case, rather, with $161.
Well, there's only one case in this game, so...
That's the important part, really. $161.50 going towards the National Women's Law Center. Thank you all for your contributions, and thank you all for your discourse. We stay tuned for more of that.
Okay, so I guess without further ado, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, and go. So, Zelda II. Quite an unusual game because, unlike the first one and most others, it's a side-scroller, but at the time a lot of games did it. Castlevania 2 was, well, there were simply a lot of demand for platformers. So, first thing we're gonna go to this cave right next to the start, hidden a little, and grab the magic container, one of the many. And hopefully we'll get a good drop here. No. Nothing appeared, which means we got Magic Jar, which is useless for us. But luckily there is a P-Bug, which I could have gotten otherwise in nearby forest, so I'm gonna use that as a backup. And you can also see all those encounters on the overworld. If we cross our paths, we're gonna need to fight. But luckily so far we didn't get any. And now we're gonna go back on track to the nearby city. Well, town. English isn't my first language, and I noticed that I keep using city and town interchangeably, even though they have slight difference in meaning between those two. Also, forgive me, but I actually don't remember the names of any of the city and towns. I just
this one is Raru.
You get in them. This is a shield town. You get
also known as Raru.
Raru. Okay. So we talked to that lady who let us in, and now here in the basement we meet this elder. In Parappa Desert, use this magic to survive. And we got a shield spell. 100% involved getting all the spells. And shield spell is actually quite useful. It halves damage taken, which is big. And now we can head to the desert. But not without doing a little stop. So we can actually, to a degree, manipulate encounters. By, for example, stopping in certain moments. Like here. Also, yeah, I see people pointing in chat. I did my VTuber model myself based on the Zelda II Link, and I think it turned out pretty well. Okay, now I'm gonna try to use the encounter to skip an area. Okay, that was a bit too early. Basically, there are some fixed hidden areas on the map, and if we encounter the encounter and this area at the same time, encounter takes priority, and on the road style, you get basically no encounter. Luckily I didn't get it, so we had to go through. And all this way just to get a card container. And the boomerang guy unfortunately didn't cooperate. There's also a reverse skip here, but I never did it, so I'm not gonna try to do it right now.
As we venture along Hyrule, is it all right if I have
yes,
an announcement?
Sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, friends, it is my pleasure to announce that we have a brand new incentive open alongside our ongoing bid wars, choosing Charbunny's Machine and Rider and Geneticist's Machine and Rider. We now have a gourmet race, a best of 3 grudge match open. So, after the initial Kirby Air Rider showcase, Jen and Char will throw down in a 1v1 special stadium competition. This game mode involves seeing who can eat the most food in a short time in like a city maze. And longtime viewers will remember the OG, that is the Waluigi's taco stand taco eating race from Frost Fatale's 2024 a couple of years ago. Char realized that she could have game characters eat the spicy food instead of her, and so that is what we are doing here. This closes at the end of Kirby Air Riders, but honestly, chat, I would love to see that close long before the end of Kirby Air Riders. So, you know what to do. You have your assignments. I believe that we can do it. We are currently at $140 out of the required $4,000.
Okay, so right now we're in the first palace in the Parapa Desert. Things now change a little. We have to find keys to open the doors. Actually, there is a possibility with certain spells to skip doors, but in this category we actually won't be skipping any, because we have to get all the keys. Also, you can see that enemy just hopping about, appearing frequently. That's a thief, and if it hits me, it's gonna steal my experience, so better not get hit. And because I got hit, I'm feeling frisky, so let's do frisky strat here. Didn't work out. That's about what usually happens here when I try. And we finally got our first level up, attack go up. Now we deal more damage, but surprisingly, we still cannot one-shot the bots. Those blue slimes are called bots. I'm really wounded, but that's actually okay, because right underneath me there's a fairy, which will heal me. Now, every palace has an item to pick up, which offers certain power to them. This palace has a candle, so we're gonna go grab it right now, and I'm gonna skip this skeleton again. And that's because every 6 enemy of a certain category you kill gives a drop. And there are 3 categories: big, small, and no drops. So we want to manipulate the drops so they will drop from a skeleton instead of a iron knuckle, because when a drop happens, enemy doesn't give experience, and just skeleton gives less experience than iron knuckle. And here's one favorite thing about this room: if I just go, this guy will never hit me. Also be warned that when I pick item, there's gonna be big flashing. Just for a split second, but be aware. And we got a candle. Candle allows us to light the dark caves, like the one we crossed on the way here. And while it can be skipped if you know where to go, it's really useful. Also, I almost forgot about that P-bug. I recently been picking it up on the way back, don't know why. Okay, Gaby, so if you have anything else to say, here's good time.
That's great, thank you so much. I do have some love coming in for you. I have $25 from Miss Truffles, our previous runner, who says, having Megami and Finny scheduled to run after me is a great gift. Reminds me of Frost Fatale's 2023 when we were both on the schedule. Let's go, Megami, you're awesome.
Thanks, Nina. Also, I just got a red jar drop, which you really wanna get a P-bug drop from the skeletons to get attack free before the boss. If not, I have a backup strat, but it's gonna be obviously a bit slower. Shimmy. Oh, I screwed up my strat for this guy. Well, so coming up is a boss, a horse head, which Honestly, given that I'm a horse girl VTuber, feels kinda weird, but we're gonna face it. And unfortunately I didn't get a P-Bug, so my backup strat is to rerun the palace, which obviously wastes time, but wow. I really screwed up that boss. Also, sorry about flashing. That's another thing. When you die there's flashing, but I can't really predict when I will perish, so... Except one very specific moment in Palace 4, but I will announce when that happens. And unfortunately, because I have attack 2, this boss is gonna take longer, simply because I'm dealing less damage. So yeah, I'm kinda forced to rerun the Palace just to get missing experience, so if you have any more donations, that's perfect moment.
You got it. I have $15 from Hyperpeace, and I also have a very generous $100 from Fly Rat that says, I absolutely love the energy at this event. It's been such a blast volunteering on donations. Thank you, Frame Fatale's community and GDQ, for all you do. Trans rights.
Trans rights.
You can keep going. Basically, my strat is to get back to the start of the palace like I just did, and then go all the way through again, because it caused enemies to respawn, so I can get experience from them once again. So until I finish palace, it's all your time.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. I have $50 from Mechalink and $25 from Anonymous, both with no comments, but they are going towards the current work that the NWLC is doing, including Democracy for All, fighting for a unified version of democracy that brings power back for and to the people, and dismantling systemic barriers to help working families realize an equitable economic future. I would also love to give an update on our current ongoing bid wars for Charbunny and Geneticist's rider and machine options. Charbunny's rider is currently Susie at $10, and now we are still waiting on opinions to be made known across the board, but I do remember Jen mentioning that Char absolutely did not want the Bulk Star as her machine. Do with that information what you will, chat. Do you want to make Char happy, or do you want to make her really sad?
Okay, so we got the experience. For completing a palace, you get a reward that you get experience up to the next level up. So I wanted that to be attack 4. Now we're all set and done, and the palace collapsed into ruin. And we can proceed. So we're gonna go to a cave north of the start. We're gonna get a missing trophy that someone in a nearby city is gonna be happy to retrieve. And that cave, it really scares me. This bat here is quite annoying. And there's also this boomerang guy here, who can also be a menace. Yeah, as you saw. And I actually had even worse times with him. Okay, didn't fall in lava. At least there's that. Okay, now we're getting to Jump Town, or... what is it called, Ion?
Ruto.
Ruto. So, I'm a bit wounded, but I think I'll be fine, especially since I will be picking life level up, which will heal me automatically very soon. And from this point on, if we wanna get a new spell, we will have to retrieve some item in exchange. Here it was the trophy that we got in that cave. And now we learn a new spell. With this, you can jump very high. Also, whenever you learn a spell, a menu automatically opens, so I use that to automatically queue the spell. And now we head to the cave south, which has a very tall cliff at the end, which we'll need a jump spell to climb.
it is actually
And,
possible to damage boost up that, but the bat movement is random, so it's not used ever, really.
Yeah, also worth mentioning a little manipulation with those boomerang guys. If you hold right while approaching them, they will keep going away. But if you let go of the D-pad and let momentum carry you, they will just stop. Which is quite useful getting close to them. And there's a lot of enemies like that in the game. And we got pretty decent bats, didn't bother me at all. Okay, time to cross the swamp. Okay, didn't get an encounter there. Okay, I was hoping that I would get no encounters, but that's also good. And one more encounter before we exit the forest. Got a little hit, but that's okay. We're now at Bagu, House of Ragu. And we need Bagu's permission to cross through the bridge in the next city. Okay. This bridge has this skeleton fish jumping, and wow, that's a really good RNG. That was like perfect. Holy moly. It's been a while since I got that RNG. And now we're... that's Saria, right, Ion?
Yes, this is Saria.
Also known as Life Town, because we get a life spell here. A lady on the previous screen lost her mirror. It was dropped underneath this table. And she will be ecstatic getting it back. So I guess, Gaby, you can squeeze in 1 or 2 donations now.
You got it. I have $50 from the Gauntlet Elf that says a fight based on who can eat the food. Count me in. And that is, of course, in reference to our gourmet match, best of 3, our gourmet race best of 3 grudge match. Try saying that 5 times fast. We are currently at $240 out of the required $4,000, so we are making great progress. But chat, I would love to see that moving just a little bit more. Friendly reminder that as you submit your donations, to allocate your donations either towards the gourmet race, which is a best of 3, or to any number of our currently open bid wars. You can choose Char Bunny's Machine, Char Bunny's Rider, Jen's Machine, or Jen's Rider. The choice is yours, chat. The world is your oyster.
Okay, and here's a little interesting thing. This dialogue cannot be skipped. Why? I have no idea. And now the bridge is open and we can enter the Death Mountain. And I will have to admit, before learning the speedrun, I have never beaten this game casually. I got walled in the Death Mountain. And this because, up to this point, I learned that shield blocks enemy attacks. And then in Death Mountain there are enemies who has attacks that go right through your shield. Also got a little unlucky with bots here. Luckily, I will pick magic refill soon by leveling it up, so I will be back at full health shortly. Okay, so in this room there's one of those enemies I mentioned that pierces your shield, but in a speedrun he's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is just... Oh.
Despawned because you didn't... you have to kill at least one of the other earlier enemies. There was no free enemy slot.
Oh, I see. I actually never had this happen to me before, so that's funny.
Yeah.
I definitely, since returning, learned a lot of things that didn't happen before to me. And here we have the axe thrower, who also goes right through your shield.
Yeah. It's
That one is also tricky because there are those bots around who distract me really easily.
yes. Later in the game, you get the reflect spell, and that actually would let you block the axes, but unfortunately, you don't have the spell when you encounter those enemies.
Yeah. Reflect spell is definitely feeling a little underused, but we're gonna show that a bit later, when the time comes for it. Okay, and that was a very nice drop. This will allow me in the next screen to cast shield spell, which is something I always want. Because this screen that I like to call bot stairs is quite notorious for me. Oh, and that's a nice jar drop. Especially this bot that this time was very passive and went away. Huh. Okay, now we're in the heart of Death Mountain. Here we have to find a hammer, which will allow us to break the boulders. Okay. Not much really to say. I guess we could squeeze one donation or two.
I've got some information about our machine bid wars. So you can choose Charbonny and Geneticist's machine. Eagle-eyed viewers will see that 2 out of these 4 options are not stars. We have a battle chariot and a wheelie scooter as well. Now, I've heard, a little birdie told me in my ear, that Char specifically has made her wheelie scooter a Fatales mobile. So if that's something you would like to see, make it known in your donations. The battle chariot, on the other hand, is perfect for when your primary goal is destruction, and it's a brand new machine added specifically within Kirby Air Riders. So if you would like to see either of these 2 options, either with Char or with Jen, you know what to do, chat.
Okay, so we got the hammer. Now all we get to do is go back to the start of this cave. And as you might remember, there was a boulder right next to the entrance, and there's actually an entrance to another cave right underneath it. So that's where we're gonna head next.
At the overworld here,
and
actually,
I won't get it in meantime. And that's because, okay, when you get a heart container, and there's gonna be one right there, your magic gets refilled, so I'm now full magic, full life, and we can exit the Death Mountain.
yeah. This area here is actually the Zelda 1 map in Zelda 2 form. It's kind of cool. A lot of people don't realize that.
I love when a game does a callback.
Yeah, that's where the Zelda 1 ended. I really like this room that I just went through, but that last sector gives me some trouble because with my strats you have to defeat it with rising crouch stab, and that's a little tricky for me.
Yeah, you have to get pretty close to him.
Okay, and coming up is a very tricky bridge. We not only have Axe Thrower, we also have Bubbles. Hopefully I will get a good pattern on the Bubbles. And that was an excellent pattern. Except maybe that one. Okay, so now we're gonna pick up first Link though. That's a 1-up. I lost.
Oh, there was just a tiny Link hanging out there.
Yeah.
Oh, that surprised me. I'm so sorry.
They're well hidden. Also got a desert encounter and somewhat unfortunate pattern of fireballs. So now we're gonna go to the cave to the west and retrieve medicine from it, which we need to learn the next spell, and hopefully we won't get any evil swamp encounters. Oh. Holy
Nice.
moly. What a dance. The first screen I usually like to take slower. And if possible, have some magic left. So hopefully I will get some magic drop in the on the return, because in the next zone you want to cast a jump spell, and I always try to conserve some magic so I can cast it before I refill. Right now I'm a little short, but maybe I will get some drop here. Let's see. Bingo.
Yeah, it's about 10 seconds time lost to have to refill magic before you cast the jump spell.
I actually never timed it, but it definitely felt slower. So I always try to manage my magic to get a little extra. Okay, didn't get any swamp encounters, so that's good.
As we navigate once again through Hyrule, I do want to give our friends an update. We are making great progress on our gourmet race best of 3 grudge match incentive. We are now at $340 out of the requisite $4,000 with help from a $50 donation from Anonymous. Thank you so much, friend.
Okay, and this is the very screen where I wanted to have magic for jump, because we need to jump here. And in this place we're not gonna meet a wizard, but a swordsman who will teach us powerful technique. Okay. When you jump, press downwards to stab. And thus we learned down stab, which is probably the most powerful technique in the whole game.
Words to live by, I suppose. When you jump, press down to stab.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now
I'm
we can
taking
refill
notes.
magic. Also a little trick which I already done. When refilling magic in town, if I cast a spell before magic fully refills, it keeps refilling to the full, so basically I got free heal.
Yes, the magic refills 255 MP, and at full 8 bars of magic, that's only 128 MP, so you can cast a lot of spells in there.
Yeah, I definitely use it a couple times during the run. It's quite a useful thing.
And just got the fairy spell, so this is Fairy Town, also known as Mido. Or Mido, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Fairy is quite a powerful spell, as it allows us to fly at the cost of not being able to attack. But it also allows us to skip the pickup animations, which I'm actually gonna do just that with it in this cave that has a heart container. And also, since we have down stab, I can deal with those spiky enemies on the floor. Good hit, but it doesn't matter, because now I'm gonna pick the heart container and get fully charged. It did cost all of my magic, but there's gonna be refill right at the start of the next palace, so that's not a problem. So I guess while we struggle through the swamp, we have a moment for a donation or two.
I have $50 from Captain Eliano that says, my state legislature is trying to pass some terrible anti-trans bills, and as part of my resistance is donating to the NWLC while taking care of my mental health by watching speedruns. Thanks for all the work you do to support women and femmes. Go women and go trans rights. Thank you, Captain Eliano. The National Women's Law Center influences policies across a wide range of issues, And one of the areas that they are focused on is LGBTQ equality. Despite the hard-fought gains in legal protections for LGBTQ plus people, there's still a long way to go to ensure that they are treated equally in all contexts under the law. The NWLC continue to fight to ensure everyone, regardless of sexual orientation, feels safe and accepted with equal protections and rights. And that is what your donations are going towards today.
Okay, so as you saw, I grabbed a magic jar from the statue at the start. And here's another. Basically, at the start of all passes except the first one and the fifth one, you can get a magic jar, although in some cases it's gonna be 50-50, either red jar or a red iron knuckle, which I really hate those enemies. There's just something about their behavior that makes them really tricky.
Yeah. They like to read your D-pad kind of aggressively.
Okay, so I guess we have time for one or two more donations.
Have an update on one of our bid wars. Charbunny's rider has had a little bit of a shift in it. Kirby is now in the lead with $25, with Susie at $10. Now these are 2 of 6 options that you can choose for Char or for Jen. Along with Kirby and Susie, you can also have Banana Waddle Dee, Cappy, Meta Knight, or Rick as a rider for either Char or Jen. So, once again, these are your options, chat. Make your donation, make your opinions known via your donations. Tell me who your favorite rider is in Kirby Air Rider. I would love to hear these things. Have either of you played Kirby Air Riders? Are you familiar with the game at all?
I never played
I am not.
it. I don't have Switch, nor do I have the GameCube game. And this room is really annoying, so I just grab a key and not risk it with those bots. Because bots be botting.
Anytime there's bots near lava, you gotta be careful, because it's a dangerous room.
And luckily, there, right in this room, there's a refill hidden in this gargoyle head. So we're back at fully charge. And we're about to grab another item. But first we need to go through this room that has falling blocks, and recently I've been having a bit of an issue with those. They've been more aggressive than I recall them being. And I'm quite short on axe, to be honest. I usually have attack 5 at this point.
I think because you despawned the one orange Dyra, that has had a snowballing effect on your XP.
Yeah.
But there's still plenty of time.
I was hoping that wouldn't happen during the actual run, but that wasn't that one.
It wouldn't be a marathon without a that's never happened before, right?
True.
So true.
Luckily, there's still plenty of enemies to deal with. Oh, and here's another I didn't know. I didn't know that you need attack 5 to shot this guy. I forgot what it was called.
The Moa, yeah, takes 3 hits at attack 4, 2 hits at attack 5.
I almost killed that skeleton, but actually you don't want to kill that particular one, because it prevents this head here from shooting. And now we finally get the level up. Okay, we're getting close. I usually try to get life free here, and I think I'm gonna get enough experience from the rest of the enemies, so I think I should be fine.
Yeah, there's...
Oh,
Oh, no.
well, I was trying to be hasty. Okay, let's not do that mistake again. Let's just wait for that barrage.
You got this. GG.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There's... With that P-bag drop, you're fine on XP. Because yeah, you need the boss at the end of the palace gives 200 XP, and you need to get over 400 before placing the gem. So, and there's plenty of enemies.
Yeah, my exp looks fine. Actually, one can skip a couple guys like this one.
Yep.
I usually don't skip red iron knuckles because I'm having some weird troubles with them. But actually, I need to defeat this one too, because I would be slightly short otherwise. And let's just shield up for safety. Helmet head. This guy has multiple heads. And
I have many questions. I will ask none of them.
The answer to all of them is yes.
yeah, basically. Normally you would want to just surf on his head with repetitive down stabs, jackhammering him. I didn't quite did it, but it still was alright. Also got a little unfortunate here with encounters. Really? 2 big encounters back to back? Now that's... Well, I actually had to drink one practice run 3 big encounters in the swamp back to back to back, so...
Oh no.
Not quite the worst.
Out of the swamp, though.
Okay, I took this encounter on purpose. And that's because I don't want any graveyard encounters. They are deadly. And now we go to a secret south of Kingsgrave. And this will lead us to the third palace, who's on the hidden island.
Did you just turn into a fairy? I blinked. What happened?
Yes. Yeah, that's the fairy spell that we picked up at the last town.
Oh, that's so neat.
Yeah. Right now we don't use it too much because it costs a lot of magic, but... it's very useful, and actually it's mandatory to get here, and... I'm gonna farm here for Red Jar, because I really would like to heal and have full magic. Unfortunately, red jars don't refill like the townspeople. You only get refill of however your maximum is. So I needed to. But now we're fully charged and we can proceed. Okay, I'm actually gonna be overkilling here a little bit, but I'm always
There's
better
a lot
with, managing my exp in this very palace, so I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of XP available in this palace too, which is good. We tend to use it as the if you go with on lower XP earlier because you got bad drops. This is the one where you can sort of normalize your levels.
There's also some digging, starting with this key. But there will be even more digging coming up. And maybe for safety, let's use the jump here. I used to be very good at jumping without the jump spell here, but recently I've been getting not as good.
Yeah, that 4-tile wide jump is very precise without the jump spell.
Okay, and now we're gonna encounter one of the more annoying enemies in this palace, the dog heads. But only briefly, more of them a bit later.
Another dangerous spot, lava room.
Ooh, and that's a very timely drop. Okay, I went through that guy on purpose. Oops. So I can level my magic a bit later. I really screwed up that blue guy, but basically it's so tight in here that our sword gets inside its hitbox past the protective barrier outside given by its helmet. So we can just repeatedly downstab that blue iron knuckle. And now I'm at mercy of this bot cooperating. Thank you. If you thought that was bad, well, that was very normal. Simply speaking, bots be botting.
Yeah, they will knock you into the lava and not give it a second thought.
If we've got a second, I have another update on some of our bid wars. Poor Jen got the Uno reverse card pulled on her because as of right now, the Bulk Star is in the lead for Geneticist's machine. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about the Bulk Star, because this has come up a few times already, it's been described to me as what if Mario Kart had fuel management? It's very large and it's in charge, and now Jen can handle the Bulk Star. Char, however, absolutely hates it. This has been mentioned earlier, and so if you want Jen to keep this Bulk Star and see how she can handle it, donate more towards the Bulk Star. If you want Char to deal with the machine that she dislikes the most, you know what to do, chat. No opinions have been made known for any of Char Bunny's machines. So, you can be the one to dictate Char's machine.
Also want to mention one thing. There's a glitch in this game that results in softlock if you level up as you transition through screen. And I almost leveled up as I was transitioning, so I got a little scared.
My heart was beaten there for you.
I'll admit, I never had it happen to me, but that's actually, I would say, bad thing, because now I'm playing quite recklessly in that regard.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me in tournament races, so it's never fun.
Also, I haven't mentioned, but while the fanfares for completing Palace Place, you can actually queue the spell without wasting any time, so that's why I queued the fairy spell there, because that's what I'm gonna be using next. So now we completed 3 palaces, and we got a raft, with which we can go to the eastern continent, where we will find new adventures. And very important, hold up after exiting that cave, that way you won't get any graveyard encounters, which, as I said, are terrible.
Yeah, no one likes a graveyard encounter.
And in the Eastern Hyrule, which also has some nasty plains encounters, but luckily we didn't see them yet. And these crouching fiends, they are Zoras.
Zoras are looking very different from what I know them as.
Yeah, definitely. But
They've changed a lot.
Yeah. It's always surprising to people to learn that those are the Zoras in this game.
On the topic of Zoras, our friend Llama32888 has sent in $25 reminding us to stay hydrated. So take a sip of water if you haven't recently, chat. This is your friendly reminder.
I just had. And also this room. This Lizalfos is very annoying, so I just ferry up and just don't bother.
It's remarkable that the fairy can pick up that child and continue flying.
Very strong fairy.
Yes.
Yeah. Fun fact, I actually once tried to do that room without fairy. I was defeated during pickup animation by that Lizalfos.
Yeah, if you don't have enough magic for fairy, you usually want to fight that Lizalfos first.
Yeah, and since that Lizalfos is somewhat annoying, I'd rather just save magic for the fairy no matter what.
And those...
Here we do a little skips, because there are 2 fixed encounters. Okay, I didn't get one. Wow! And that's the problem of the second area. Okay. Okay, maybe I'll try one more time. Hopefully this time.
And these levers, or we call them coffee grinders, they hit real hard.
That I could use to skip.
Made it through.
Now we are in Reflect Town, which is also known as...
Darunia, or some people jokingly call it Denver because it's in the mountains.
Shoutouts to Denver, Colorado.
And I was wounded, and that actually works fine, because now I can refill while also casting Fairy here. Without it, magic would refill before I reached that screen. And I did a trick called Fairy Claws, where I went through that chimney as a fairy. You need to be crouching when shifting to fairy. And now we learn the up stab. The less useful brother of down stab, but still pretty useful at some situations. And you can also do this, up, down. I think it looks pretty cool.
You can't go from down stab to up stab unless you bounce off of an enemy, then you can up stab after the bounce.
And that child we rescue. Here's the family of that child, and in exchange we're gonna learn the Reflect spell, which strengthens our shield, and I honestly use it only twice. For the next boss, because it's mandatory to defeat it, and for the penultimate boss as a safety. And that's all there is in the city of Darunia.
I have another $5, but this time it's from Vicarious Vice that also says, stay hydrated.
Okay, let's hope I'll get good skips on the way back. I think that wasn't quite that, but we'll see. Nope. Well, that was nice. Just went back, turned back, just like last moment before I did the skip. Not the first time and not the last time it happened.
There we go.
But at least got the second skip fairly quickly. So now we head back to this maze where we found that lost child, and this time we're gonna go through the entirety of it to the next palace. And I'm getting a ton of encounters, holy moly. Okay, back spawn is good. All the tiles in the maze are road tiles, which means they don't generate enemy encounters. But there are some fixed locations, like this one here that has magic container. And as last time, well, with heart container, I ferried up to skip the pickup animation, and since it refilled my magic, it was basically free. And that and this screen are basically the only two screens we're gonna see in the maze.
If you take the longest path through the maze, you avoid the most fixed encounter screens, so it ends up actually being the fastest way, even though by distance on the overworld it's the longest.
Yeah, And the entrance to this palace is unique because we're greeted by an enemy right at the start. Thankfully I'm full on magic and health, so I don't need to gamble for the red jar, we can just keep going. And this palace is quite big. And quite annoying. You saw that enemy flickering that just disappeared? That's Wizrobe. There is a lot of them here and they are very annoying. Also, magic is quite tight here. Here I'm gonna cast a jump. You can do this jump without it, but I tend to be screwing up it recently, so just gonna be safe.
Alright friends, I've got an update for you. We have now opened a milestone incentive for our bonus game of the night. That is Donkey Kong 64. If we raise $98,000 total over the course of the rest of the day for the National Women's Law Center, we will add an any percent 3 Kongs run of Donkey Kong 64 run by Ad129 to the schedule. We have a plethora of ways that you can contribute to that, including our current open incentive for the gourmet race, best of 3 grudge match, as well as our open bid wars. There is an interesting little tie going on with Jen's rider. Banana, Waddle Dee, and Rick are both tied for $25. So, if you want to contribute to one of those, any of our other rider or machines, you are getting a fabulous 2-for-1 deal here, folks. It will all go towards this final milestone of 98K for the National Women's Law Center.
Okay, I screwed up that guy a little bit here, but that's okay. We can just go back and kick his butt. So, one thing to note about the blue iron knuckles, when you hit them, they go berserk and keep repeatedly attacking for a short duration, which can be quite deadly, as you just saw. And we're also halfway done with this wing of the palace. There are 2 more keys to grab, one on the right here, which is the same as the first key room in this, except enemy position is a little different, and also there's no hidden red jar at the end. Oh, I usually have this guy bounce in a different way, not bothering me here. Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Skull Bubble can be annoying.
Right, as if we didn't have enough, I'm so sorry, as if we didn't have enough bid wars to pick from, we have a best girl bid war. You can choose the character sprite for Link's Awakening. That is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, which is coming up in a few runs. Link couldn't make it, so we're going to pick the character sprite, and you can choose between Grandma Ulrira, Marin, Martha the Mermaid, Rosa, or Saria. So, if you are interested in making more progress towards any of these donations, as well as our milestone incentive, who is best girl? Which character sprite will we be using for The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening? Let me know, chat.
So you just saw the annoyance of wizards. They just appear and keep spamming those projectiles. But also what is annoying is their hitbox remains active for a while, and they are not affected by the swords. It just goes through them, so you can easily just get hit them by their bodies if you're trying to go fast, making them really annoying.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the Wi-Fi they shoot.
Not the Wi-Fi! There's something hinky going on in the donations at the moment because I have $25 from French Dress and another $25 from Ranch Dress. I'm confused and alarmed because neither of these have any comments attached to them. I guess we've got some dress fans in chat. I'm concerned. What is going on here?
Well, French dressing and ranch dressing are different salad dressings. So I'm guessing it's something with that. I don't know.
Huh. I guess we're starting condiment discourse, I suppose.
Okay, maybe I'll keep talking. So, coming up is 50-50 Red Jar, Red Iron Knuckle, and I really wanna Red Jar. Okay, unfortunate. That death actually was good though, because I need my magic refilled, because I need full magic for the coming up boss. I'm however a little short on my lives, but hopefully that will be fine still. I was able to clutch runs from this point with not that many lives, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
And the reason why you want full magic for the boss is because the reflect spell, which is mandatory to beat it, costs nearly entirety of our magic reserves.
Yeah, if you only had magic,
I could have gambled for a Red Jar there, but yeah.
If you only had magic 2, you wouldn't even have enough magic to cast it. I think they expected you to be here with a higher magic level than 3.
Anyway, here's Skarok, the teleporting wizard. We're gonna chase him here in the corner. However, he can still teleport right on top of us, that's why I cast Shield, in case things happen.
The Wi-Fi casting is truly sending me.
Yeah. So you had to reflect it and turn it into 5G, and then that takes him out, so...
I guess, you know, it is the more powerful of all of the previous versions of cell data. Yeah.
It was really awesome to see Lordo fight him knowing, using the manipulation. Basically, if I remember, if you exit and re-enter, it reduces the amount of possible patterns the boss has to like 16, and then re-entering and entering again to like 4. I remember a Slackinator talking about it ages ago, but I forgot the details.
Yeah, the top level runs do make use of that. They get it down to 8 patterns and they can read and react, and it's very impressive.
Cute Cycle has donated $25 and says, "Let's go women!" And believe it or not, trans rights. These are all things that the NWLC believes with their whole hearts. And we do also have...
This screen is worth mentioning, a little fail on my end. I wanted to learn a skip called Echo Key where you damage boost above this cliff instead of hurrying and going back. But unfortunately I did not, so... You didn't see the cool trick.
It's a hard trick.
Definitely I was quick to get the idea of how it works, but yeah... positioning is a bit precise and you have a very short time window to do it correctly.
Some updates on our bid wars. Jen's machine and Jen's rider options are both tied at the moment. Jen's machine is tied between Bulkstar and Swerve Star, and her rider is tied between Banana Waddle Dee and Rick. So, we can't have a tie here, friends. I need somebody to break this tie, and we've been getting a bunch of $25 donations. I have a $25 donation from a honey mustard dress. We really are doing condiment discourse, I suppose, but... These can go towards the bid wars, they can go towards our open incentive of the gourmet race grudge match, as well as nomination for best girl. Rosa is now in the lead for the character sprite for The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. You know what? Send me more condiment dresses. Why not? Guess we're doing this now.
Okay, so this boss has those disappearing wizards, and they can give quite a lot of experience, and I actually would like to have some of them appear right under my sword. Like this one.
Here we go.
This place is actually quite a good place to grind casually. I definitely used it to max my levels when I was doing retro achievements for this game.
Yeah, these fire wizards are Magos. So they're different from Wizrobes.
Yeah, unlike Wizrobes, they're weak to swords. You don't have to reflect their spells back at them, which makes them easier. Actually, I'm a bit wounded, but hopefully I won't hit this guy. There's a very specific pixel to not get hit, and I got it twice first try. Very good.
That was
GG.
very fast magic pixel.
I actually think that was my fastest ever. So that was very nice.
An anonymous donor has very generously donated $200 to the National Women's Law Center. Thank you so much. For those of you who are just joining us and are unsure who the National Women's Law Center are, they are a group of advocates, experts, and lawyers who fight for gender justice, taking on issues that are central to the lives of women and girls. Especially here in the United States, they believe in a world in which all women and girls can live, learn, and work with equality, dignity, safety, and bodily autonomy. For more than 50 years, they have been on the leading edge of every major legal and political victory for women. If you would like to learn more about where all of your donations are going, you can learn more about the important work that they do by typing !NWLC in chat.
Unfortunate death, but can't do much with 1 pixel of health. Hopefully I won't game over at this point, because that would bear certain implications with it.
dear.
Basically, game overing at this point will have consequences with my levels.
Yes.
While I recently had a run where I did a little mistake and ended up with 6 magic at the final palace rather than 8, and was able to finish, I'd rather not do that again.
We'll knock on wood for that then.
Yeah, that makes you can only cast Thunder on Thunderbird when you have that.
I put out the call and the chatters have in fact answered. Rick has taken the lead with Geneticist's Rider with Banana Waddle Dee $5 away. So Rick is currently sitting at 30 and Banana Waddle Dee is sitting at 25. Looking over at Charbunny, we have also had a shift in the lead. Susie is now at $35 and Kirby $10 behind at 25. Now, Jen's Machine still at a tie. Bulkstar and Swervestar are both at $25. Charbunny has a very solid lead with the Bulkstar as well at $25, with Battle Chariot at $5. Now remember, Char specifically has decorated her Battle Chariot to be Fatales themed. If you would like to see that, donate and put it towards that incentive, that bid war. You're doing great, chat. We're making great progress.
Now I just had very bad luck and I game over. Luckily, it's not that bad at this point. I will need to grind a little bit to get some experience, but it could have been worse. If I game over after the palace, it would have been really bad. But as is, if the wizards cooperate and I'll get a couple kills on the way, I should be really fine. Ian, do you remember how much XP the boss of this palace gives?
Yeah. Guma gives 500 XP, so you just need to get to 700.
700, and I need to go back to that key, which has... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you should be good.
I could use a couple wizards, to be sure, but there's gonna be plenty of them on the way. And as I said, this was like the best moment to game over, because after this palace I will be holding to 3,500 XP until the end of the next palace. And then a little more to the Grand Palace, so you really don't want to game over at that point.
Yeah, it's where we really take advantage of the big experience boost that you get from placing the gem at the end of the palace. So we should be able to we want to get 9,000 XP from both this and the next palace.
I've just gotten word, in case you didn't have enough bid wars to choose from to get us closer and closer towards that milestone incentive of $98,000 for the National Women's Law Center, we have yet another bid war open, friends, for the FFTV Power Hour. You, friends, have the power to determine what the finale of our Power Quarter Hour will be. So we can do either a bad DK64 synth cover, bad magic tricks, or bad stand-up comedy. It is a wonder that, I would love to see the synth cover, honestly, especially given that our bonus game is DK64. I think that would work together perfectly. But I can't decide that, chat. You get to decide that. So, as you get your donations in, remember to allocate your donations towards any of our open incentives or bid wars. It is truly a buffet of choices here, and you can take your pick.
With this drop here.
So I'm back on track with X. We're good. I think I'm gonna just for safety go back and grab the red there here. And now we're fully charged, heading towards the boss. And I got a sound glitch opening the door. Nice. Okay, Guma hits like a truck. I think even with shield, you take 2 containers of damage. I have this safe trap which only works if he moves towards you. And that was pretty clean.
That boss is interesting because his hitbox is not on his head, which is where it is for most of the bosses.
So, attack rate is actually max that we can have. So, if we were to pick the attack now again, we would get a 1-up instead, which is not what we want. So instead we're gonna use it to level up our other attributes.
As you're doing that, the condiments continue to appear because I have $25 from creamy roasted garlic vinaigrette and $5 from blue cheese. There's no S at the end, but I am assuming that is blue cheese. Chat, you're so silly. Thank you all for your generous donations to the National Women's Law Center.
It should be noted.
Okay, so now we're in this town, which I call Fire Town. What is it? Its name, Ivan?
Naburu.
No. So in here we're gonna get a fire spell which allows us to shoot fire, but first we need to pick some water for this thirsty lady here. Fire is quite an interesting spell, but we're gonna only use it once, and it's actually quite an optional use.
The Cheeseball 81 has donated $25, so I see we're pivoting to cheese now. Please keep your silly usernames coming, they bring me so much joy.
Cheeseball is actually a fellow Zelda II runner.
Yeah.
That's awesome! Oh my gosh, they didn't leave a comment, but friend, thank you so much for showing up and giving your and donating towards the National Women's Law Center.
Yeah, cheese is awesome.
So in the previous palace we got the flute, which allows us to wake this beast and go past it. And now I'll try to do a skip off the fence, and didn't work first try. Let's see if the second will be lucky. Easy.
And one of the best enemies in the game coming up here, the Wilsons.
Actually, what is it reference to? Because I'm quite unfamiliar with that.
There was a show in the 90s called Home Improvement, and the neighbor Wilson was always standing behind the fence.
I see. I'm not from USA, I'm from Poland, and I don't think that one aired on the TV.
Oh, gotcha.
That is not any channel I watched. The one sitcom from USA that stuck in my mind was like, what was the English title? Married with Children.
Oh,
but
yes.
that's mostly the Polish title was made so it resembles Polish sitcom Świat według kiepskich, because it was Świat według bandych, so loosely translating Bandy's world. And this is the only room where we really use fire, just to destroy those Tektites, which in this game are armored, and that's only means of destroying them, as far as I know.
Yes. Yeah. That's the only way. On the Japanese version of the game, your sword can damage them.
I'm receiving some transmissions in my headphones, and my friends are letting me know that the FFTV Power Quarter Hour bid war is coming up pretty much immediately next. So, if you would like to see any of these, if you want to hear a bad DK64 synth cover, if you want to see a bad magic trick, if you want to hear some bad stand-up comedy, that is the most urgent thing at the moment right now. If you want to make your opinions known, that is the place to do it. I do also want to give an update on our gourmet race bid incentive because my gosh, that has suddenly schmooved. We are now at $1,115 out of the required $4,000. Chat, I looked away for a moment and it jumped up, so keep me guessing. Keep it coming. Thank you so much for all of your generosity towards the National Women's Law Center. And again, if you want to pick what is going on with the next FFTV Power Quarter Hour, let me know. I saw somebody advocating for bad stand-up comedy. You have to make it known in the donation, otherwise we will not see it.
Also, I would like to give a moment to give shout out to Lordo, also known as Lord of Ultima. He taught me on his stream a little trick with that hidden thing. If you strike the wall on the far side while you cast the spell, the sound of the striking the wall is gonna play repeatedly while the thing is rising. I didn't do it on purpose because it's really terrible sounding, but I just wanted to mention it. Anyway, in this hidden town we got a heart container, spell, and magic key which allows us to open any door, which is useful because next palace has locked doors but not a single key. So with that, we go back to where we were and head to the next palace. You can also use fire here on the way back, but recently I've been not using it and it's been working out quite well for me.
Just realized I didn't name that town. That was New Kasuto.
Our condiment friends are continue to make appearances. I have $10 from Catsup. That's spelled CAT-SUP. I promise I don't pronounce ketchup that way, and I have never referred to ketchup in that way before, but thank you, $10 from Catsup. I also have $20 from Condiment Wars that says may the best soft win. I don't know what's going on, but I'm kind of here for it.
That's quite a war. Okay, so we're now in the Hidden Palace. And as I said, this palace has locked doors but no keys. Well, okay, that's not exactly true. There are two mini-bosses here, each of which drops a key, but we're not gonna be really using those. Plus we haven't fought any and already went past two doors. And magic management in this palace is very important because soon we will need to cast Fairy twice. So it's very important that we manage it properly. Oops. And
nice hot strats.
Woo! I have a $500 donation from the Yeti. It says, hey y'all, Yeti here. Frost Fatales is kind of like a speedrunning telethon, isn't it? And a telethon wouldn't be complete without some amazing merch over in our official Frame Fatales collection. Aside from the official event tee, we've got some incredible items for this event, including stickers, patches, and even an event-exclusive poster. And remember, a portion from each sale goes to the National Women's Law Center, so all this good merch goes to a great cause. Check it all out over at theyeti.com/frostfatales.
And speaking of grudge matches, we just had one with Rebonak, the Palace Free Boss. And it's not the last we've seen of him. We're gonna meet him once more.
That's a great shout for our grudge match incentive. We are at $1,170 out of the required $4,000. Thank you for that, Megami.
Yeah.
Safely avoiding Canada. There's an invisible pit that is referred to as the Canadian Hole from a Canadian runner named it because a bunch of Canadian runners fell in there during a tournament years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny. Okay. We're still getting condiments. I have $50 from user less cheese, more sauce. I also have $5 from Smoky Garlic Hot Fudge Tahini that says, try me today. I'll try anything once, but I'm afraid.
I actually never had tahini in my life.
I've made it's like a green sauce with tahini in it, so it had cilantro and parsley and garlic and tahini, and I put it on soba noodles, and it's kind of like an adjustment on a green goddess, and it's so good on cold soba noodles. I would 100% recommend it to anybody who wants to try.
That sounds awesome. I mostly use tahini in hummus.
Hummus is also fantastic. Shoutouts to hummus. One of the best condiments.
Heck yeah. Strong agree.
And there was first instance of using fairy because, there's just sea of lava with no way out or in. And time for the second grudge match against Rebonak. This time he's easier because we have higher attack. And we can use the exact same strats. And wow, he was very cooperative today. Unlike regular Iron Knuckles, his helmet is rather wacky because he's vulnerable to downstab.
Only on the left edge of the screen, though.
That's really specific. Only on that side?
Yes. I don't know why it works, but it does.
It's so interesting. Alrighty.
I once died here bumping to this car.
Oh my. Alright, Megami, I'm looking at the estimate, I am looking at our time, and I am looking at our quarter hour finale bid war. How long do you think we have left in this run so the viewers at home know how long they have left to make their opinions known on this very specific bid war?
I would say we have like 15 minutes, maybe less. Even though the things weren't going well, I think we're still on the way to get underestimate.
Alrighty, chat, you heard it here. Now, Bad DK synth cover, still in the lead. If you want to see a magic trick or if you want to hear some stand-up comedy, you've got about 10 to 15 minutes at most to make your opinions known on this. This is the next thing that is coming up, friends. So, make your opinions known. And remember, if you're sending me these cursed condiment options, donate it towards the quarter power hour finale. Though I do have a $10 donation from Dijon Must. I'm assuming this is Dijon Mustard, who has donated towards Rick for Geneticist's Rider, which is now in the lead at $40. Thank you so much, Dijon Must.
We're now in the old Katsuto. And here we learned Thunder Spell, which we need to make penultimate boss vulnerable at all. I actually don't know what outside of that the spell does. I think it damages some enemies.
Yeah, it does a pretty large amount of damage. There's in the reverse boss order run, we use it in one of the rooms in Great Palace with the blocks and the blue bird knight because it helps knocks the blue bird knight off screen for us, but it's not really used much anywhere else.
Yeah, definitely one problem with it being more useful is that it has very high magic cost. Okay, another fence skip. Easy. And fun fact about this red jar I just picked. If I were to fail any of the fence skips in a specific way, it would just disappear. I had it happen a couple times on me. But then people of the Zelda II speedrun Discord told me how it happened and how to prevent it, so... it hasn't been really a problem since. Now we're in the Death Valley, which leads to the Grand Palace. And this place is dangerous. Luckily we can use the spell to help us through. And also skip the encounters, which are very long and have very nasty jump at the end.
I have a donation from Obscure Reference, donating $50 to the National Women's Law Center. Yeah, that about sums it up. It sure is a reference that I don't understand. Thank you so much for your generosity, friend.
Okay.
Wilson has also sent in $5. Thank you so much. That can go. That has been allotted. Goodness, I could not tell you, but you know what? It is going towards the National Women's Law Center at the end of the day. Thank you so much, friend. Please go ahead, Megami.
Okay, so now we're entering Grand Palace, which is unique by the fact that if I game over here, I don't respawn at the start, but at the start of the palace, rather than the game. And it's also really deadly. As you can see, this hot chicken is definitely one of the more deadliest enemies here. And maybe I'll play safe and get the Magic 8 ASAP. Basically you want Magic 8 because then you can do Thunderbird the safest way. Because right now I would have enough magic to cast Thunder and one utility spell. But with Magic 8 I can cast Thunder, all 3 utility spells, and even have enough for shield for Shadowling. And now another fire chicken.
Oh geez, oh no. Okay, I have $10 from Worcestershire sauce? With a comment that reads, the one that's difficult to say. Boy, howdy is it. Also, hi friend, I have $200 from Eon.
What?
That's
Who's
a familiar name.
It sure is familiar.
It's a Zelda II Best Zelda. Remember green and purple ketchup? Gotta be one of the most cursed condiments. I do remember that. It's horrible. I forced my parents to buy that, and it was like one of the worst mistakes I have ever made. Shout outs to the 90s and the early aughts. What a time to be alive. And thank you so much. That was really neat.
It's great to be involved. Great charity to support, and a great game. So, what more could you ask for?
The vibes are great. The game is great. The cause is great. You love to see it.
Okay, here I'm gonna gamble for a red jar to refill my magic, and so far I'm failing those 50-50s. Finally.
There we go.
And now we're entering the room of the one and only Count Dicula. Which is
So this is
this blue falcon. Who's quite a deadly enemy, but we can cheese him by just waiting here and stabbing him when he jumps by.
Yeah, this is the room we use Thunder in on reverse boss order speedruns.
You can also do it more risky by just running past him right here like I just did, but I'm not very consistent with it, so I just cheese him.
We've got, a sleeper coming on in for our Choose the Power Quarter Hour finale bid war. Bad stand-up comedy is now at $10, which means that it's within striking distance of overtaking the bad DK64 synth cover. Now that's coming up next, friends. If you want to make your opinions known, what do you want to see the most? You can give the bad DK64 synth cover a runaway lead if you want. Nothing is guaranteed. It's not over until it's over. Also, I looked away and we hit $88,000 for the National Women's Law Center. Absolutely incredible, chat. Thank you so much.
That's quite incredible indeed.
And none of it could be possible without viewers like you, and runners like you, and commentary like you. It is a collective effort. We are all working together to put a little bit more good into the world.
Okay, we're right on the footsteps of the final bosses. I'm just gonna go here and gamble for potion to refill my magic. This one unfortunately wastes a little more time if you fail it, because I have to go all the way through this room. Try again. Hopefully I'll get it quickly. And there we go.
There we go. Yeah. If you really need it, there's a second jar option even further back in the room.
Also, chat, we are $80 away from $1,500 towards the Gourmet Race Best of 3 grudge match. Do you think we can make it hit $1,500 before the end of this run? I'm throwing down the gauntlet. I think that you can pick it up. You have worked miracles for me, chat. I believe. I know that we can pull this off as well.
Okay, so this is Thunderbird. If we don't cast Thunder, his face doesn't appear and we cannot damage it. And it also flies quite high, so it's quite easy to be out of reach. And now time to face the hardest enemy in the game, our Shadow. I actually fought this boss once without a cheese in Winter Solstice hack and can't recommend.
It's such a good game, though. Winter Solstice is great.
Yeah, Winter Solstice is amazing, but really screw the Shadow Link. Anyway, get ready with time and time.
GG.
GG!
1:32 on my clock with game over. That's quite incredible. Thank you everyone for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed my time here. Thank you, Leon, for commentary. Thank you, Gabby, for being an amazing host.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you both so much for being here. Do you have any shout-outs, anything you would like to say? Where can the good people find you?
I mostly stream on Twitch, but definitely not gonna stream this weekend because I'm actually doing postgraduate weekend course.
I'll quickly shout out the Zelda 2 speedrunning community. It's awesome. If you like this game, you should join us. And yeah, you can find me at EonHCK on Twitch and all the places.
Yeah, once again, thanks everyone. It's been a pleasure.